televidente contabay. Durante de un viaje recién para la isla de San Martín, nos tuvimos oportunidad para nos sentar y conversar con el ministro de Salubridad y Labor de San Martín, el Honorable Minister Omar Ottley. Nos conversar de diferentes tópicos. Nós temos que bisabo que nós iba a conversação aqui na inglês, permitindo seguro que o lobo raia é aqui sumamente interessante. Nós conversar com ela manter a balança de dois ministérios de labor e salubridade. Nós papia over de salubridade também preventivo e planos não que tem de futuro para o que trata diferentes aspectos de SVK aya na Isla Riba, anto kiko ta su planes ng palo que trate e aya binidero. Pues, me te invitabo pa mesora nos inicia nos entrevista com o Ministro de Salubridad e Labor de San Martín, Sr. Omar Ottley. Esa aqui ta Dutch Caribbean Television e canal Pacaribe Holandês. Minister Ottley, such a pleasure to finally meet you. Most of our viewers via Dutch Caribbean Television, we follow you during our nightly news with all the updates with regards to labor and health here on St. Martin. So for us, it's a pleasure to be able to sit down with you. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. A pleasure to all the viewing and listening public. It's an honor.
Well, you know, we're going to jump right into it because TikTok, we're on TV time. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into politics and how come you chose the ministry, or maybe the ministry chose you, which is the VSA.
Well, perfect. Actually, I'm a fourth generation into politics. It was brought onto me. I think it was just a calling. Yeah. It was my time. I thought that the opportunity was perfect. Many people in St. Martin has lost hope in the politicians. That's due to the many elections we have had within the 10-year span. And I figured, look, if we want a difference, then it's time to step up and beat that difference. And I actually have a master's degree in business administration with a minor in civil engineering. I have my bachelor's of science in civil engineering. So originally, of course, I wanted to do VRUMI, the infrastructure. But while I was campaigning, I realized the social issues, and that is what I campaigned on. And I realized that I think God chose me for this position because I love my job. I really do. It can be hard. No one expected a pandemic, but for the most part, I take pride in what I do, and I really love my job.
Now let's get to this pandemic, because it's. I was here actually in 2019 for the last elections, the third time. Let's make it last time, you know, and you guys are adamant about, you know, making sure that this coalition and everything works, and in spite of the pandemic in the past 2 years, I mean, you guys, and especially your ministry, which is a ministry where most people, you know, it's what drives them. You know, if you don't have health, you don't have anything. And you need to have a job. You know, you need labor. You need to work to be able to feel worthy as a citizen that is contributing to your country. In this pandemic, nobody saw it coming. How is it? How were you guys? How you and your ministry and all of those that working together with you in the ministry of the VSA? How did that first meeting, or maybe the first week of meetings, went when you guys realized, listen, this ain't a simple cold, this thing is, you know, who knows when it's going to end, and, you know, people are sort of panicking, or they were probably a bit nonchalant in the beginning?
Well, actually, I'm in my position now for 7 months. So when the COVID pandemic started, I was a member of parliament. And I'm a doer. So what I did, I actually went out of my own way, money out of my own pocket, and I bought some antibody rapid testing for, you know, to donate towards the country. Of course, a lot of us didn't know what we know now. The tests were EU approved. Those were the official tests being used in Germany. And I just wanted to be ahead of it because I knew that there was something called asymptomatic. That's when a person doesn't exhibit any symptoms, and that was the scary part. So I wanted to use these serological tests where we can tell from your blood if you're infected or not. Of course, we receive a lot of, you know, backlash from the RIVM in the Netherlands, but this is where culture comes into play.
Yeah.
A lot of the decisions that the Netherlands may make may not be beneficial to us. And as you say, I'm also Minister of Labor. So a prime example, if I may dive right into it, I know you said we're pressed for time, was the last wave that we had, the scale back. There was a request to shut down nightlife, shut down business, if not one and all, do it at least by 8 o'clock to match with the French side. And I did not. I moved it to 11 because of the fact that I knew the SSRP, the business support, was about to end in September.
Yeah.
I knew that the food voucher program, which we did, was about to end. I could not have taken the risk for more people to lose jobs because it's two battles that we're having. We have had over 4,000 some odd people infected with the COVID-19. Unfortunately, 75 deaths. But out of the 75 deaths that we have had, it's 3 persons that were fully vaccinated. So then this is where the campaign started, and we started to push that the responsibility now is on you.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, we, the public, have to take responsibility for our actions. And even if you are not an advocate of being vaccinated, I encourage everyone to do health protocols. You know, wear your mask, sanitize. It's up to you. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your destiny. But what we saw really worked was when we implemented the daytime zero tolerance with the Inspectorate of VSR, Inspectorate of TIAT, where they went out not only at night, but in the day. Because in the day, people tend to be more relaxed. So once we did that, in a span of 2 weeks, we went from 350 cases to 328 cases, and we have been on a downward spiral since.
Now, speaking of public responsibility, that's something that you mentioned very much, and I must say, every Wednesday was a pleasure to follow. And even my colleagues, he coming on in Papiament, of course. Ito subi, ito kong, ito cool. Ito man ito soda na, ito papi sukos nang. So you maintain that calm, knowing that the storm and public opinion was raging out there, and you maintain that calm. And one of the questions I have on the list: how were you able to do that? I told you before we started, you look like an all-star athlete, and athletes have, they're into health and into meditation and stuff to prep themselves for the game. How is that for you on a personal level to maintain that calm? Because I mean, you can't have the storm raging outside and then again raging on the inside.
Correct. Well, first of all, I have an amazing staff. So sometimes I think they get the blunt of it, what the public don't get. But on a real, I've always said this, that every politician should know this, or person, you can never please everyone. You will never please everyone. Will never. I can give everyone $1 million tomorrow, and we're still going to hear complaints. I'm
going to be first in line. You won't get people out of me, Minister.
Somebody said, why only $1 million? Why? So once you realize that, that's the first thing. And at the end of the day, once you can live with your decision, and you can look in the mirror and know that you did your best, that's all that matters. St. Martin was not in its own bubble. St. Martin is a part of the world. The rest of the world was dealing with COVID-19. Compared to everyone around the world, we did great. During the height of the pandemic, I received calls from Guyana, I received calls from many other different countries asking, what are you doing? How are you finding the balance? How are you keeping your numbers suppressed? We were afraid, yes, with the capacity of the hospital, but in reality, our hospital capacity is very small, 15. Compared to the rest of the people within the region, there's overflow in the hospital. There's people you see on the floor, So we did very good. And I knew that no matter what, I know things were not the same in St. Martin, but I always kept in my mind and in my heart that it could have been worse. So that's how I was able to stay cool, calm, and collective. And guess what? At the end of the day, now they can look and say, okay, I understand why he did what he did. Because today, we're at 25 cases. The most important thing, no one is in the hospital, no one deceased. That's my most important thing. And we have economical activities. If you look at the harbor, we have 6-7 ships at a time. The airport activity has picked up. So at the end of the day, I did what I need to do as Minister of Health, Now it's time for me to focus on the labor aspect and get this country back up and running.
Right on. Speaking of the labor aspect, we're going to hold on there. We have to take a quick break. Damas y caballeros, permitirnos un espacio comercial cortico assim, então ora nós está back, nós seguir com nossa conversação com o Honorable Minister Omar Ottley, que está Minister de VSA, de Salubridade e Labor. E balança, nós estamos falando de balança, não é um caminho. Essa aqui está Dutch Caribbean Television diretamente for the Phillipsburg Sunshine City, St. Martin.